Welcome to The Juice, where I sit down with cutting-edge business owners and unique, interesting, and inspiring individuals to learn, laugh, and grow. Today's featured guest is Justin Kim. Justin is a master networker and a host of some of the most sought-after seminars. Thanks for being here, Justin.
Oh, my pleasure.
Cool. So before we get started and dive in, would you be up for playing a game?
Sure.
All right, so here's how the game goes.
Okay.
We're going to have 1 minute. When the timer starts, I'm going to ask you questions rapid fire. You're going to answer as quick as you can. If you get through all the questions, you're going to get a prize.
Ooh.
If you don't, I'm your prize for the interview.
Okay.
Okay, so ready? Is the timer on? Yeah? Okay. So what's your favorite juice drink?
Something with, I like something with spinach, pineapple, and orange juice. I use it on my
This!
Is that what that is?
No, it's not.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just part of some, take off of it. Okay, leader or follower?
At this point, leader,
Quality of life or quantity of life?
quality of life.
What's your best feature?
That's a good question. We'll pass on that one.
I didn't know there were passes here. Mountains or beach?
Beach,
Favorite color?
red,
Library or museum?
museum,
Text or call?
text.
What is your greatest achievement?
We'll pass on that one.
Any tattoos? You're making up your own rules here.
I guess so.
Any tattoos?
None.
Gucci or Chanel?
I'm partial to both, so I have no idea.
Dark chocolate or milk chocolate? Chocolate.
Dark chocolate. Dark chocolate.
Okay.
I like both.
Favorite cuisine?
Favorite cuisine? I eat it all. But I really had to pick Italian.
Okay. Favorite president?
Favorite president? That's gonna open up like a can of worms. I have no idea.
Okay, well, you're lucky because you got cut off there because we hit a minute. You did not finish, but you get to interview with me.
Okay, cool.
Lucky you. Okay, so that was just a little fun. I was hoping you'd win, but what is it? No one's won yet today? I don't think so. All right, cool. It'll be the next one. So here are some questions. You ready?
Sure.
All right. What wakes you up in the morning? What's your purpose, passion?
It's a great question. My purpose, honestly, is just to make progress each day, just being the better version of myself. Whether it's going to the gym, at least just making physical progress, or just moving the needle in my business. So that's what gets me up. I made it. Obviously, when I was younger, I used to think all or nothing. I was always impatient. I had this, what's it called, instant gratification. But for me, as long as I move the needle just a little bit, that's what gets me up.
I think that's huge. I mean, it's like baby steps. So needle's great. What do you do at the gym?
I try to lift as much weight as I can.
Cool. No cardio?
Not
for you?
Not now.
All right. By the way, I love your shirt. Best
Thank
day
you.
of my life. Every day is the best day of our lives, right? What are some of your favorite wellness tips or regimes that you can share with the viewers? Like going to the gym each day.
Going to the gym each day, eating right. For a long time, I used to drink a gallon of water a day, which actually
That's so good.
It actually does wonders. I kind of fell off the wagon on that one recently, but when it does, it really, first of all, your energy goes through the roof, and plus, actually, my belly gut just shrunk. So,
that's cool.
Which is amazing. So it's just really challenging because I'm always on the road.
So you have to go to the bathroom a lot?
And that's the problem. So before, when I was doing a lot of stuff from home and just making calls from home, it was great because it was much easier. But then when you're on the road and you have to pull over, that is very challenging,
Yeah,
especially
that's
on
rough.
the highway. So, but that is actually amazing.
Actually, I also hear it does wonders for your skin, everyone, just in case you were wondering. Okay, in addition to being a salesman, you're an expert networker and have created seminars with major players like Hal Elrod and Ben Kinney. Clearly, you're a giver. What made you get involved with setting up these seminars, and what are some of your best takeaways?
Sure. Well, the reason why I did it initially is because I saw a need and it wasn't being fulfilled. And so, let's start with Ben Kinney. When it came to Ben Kinney, I knew that he was a big player in the industry, and not just with Keller Williams, because obviously he's he walks on water basically, Keller Williams. I've actually saw a lot of his YouTube videos years ago. I'd say about 8 or 9 years ago when I was studying the real estate industry, because that's where most of my clients are. So I wanted to listen to what they were listening to. I wanted to read the books that they were reading. So I knew that Ben Kinney was doing seminars in different parts of the country, but he wasn't doing seminars here for whatever reason. And I was always thinking, what is one way that I could add value to the people. So at that point, when I did the Ben Kinney seminar, I've always had a good relationship. I thought a great relationship with a lot of the KW leadership throughout the region, because it was mostly KW agents, obviously. And so what's one way that I can add value, and what's something that I can do, other than give them discounts on knives or anything knife related. There's really so much I have done at that point where I could do. So I was like, well, let me see if I can bring Ben Kinney out. So when I talked to the region leadership, they actually told me, good luck. We've tried before. When he comes to Inman, we tried to do that a couple years ago. So when he's in the area, but for some reason, it just never happened. So I actually stalked him on Facebook. And so I stalked him on Facebook, and he actually didn't respond. But then a couple months later, I stalked him again. I reached out to him again, and he did respond. And he said, talk to this person. We did it. And I said, this is something I want to do. And for me, coming from a sales background, lead generation is the most important thing. So for me, speaking in front of an audience is very important. So either I have to find events to go to, whether it's a team meeting or a class or whatever the case may be. But for some reason, in my head at the time, I felt like there weren't as many events as there could be. Like, for example, when I see my colleagues in Texas or Florida, they have events all the time. I feel like in this area, we just don't have them. So I was like, if I can't find an event, I have to create one.
It was amazing.
It was amazing.
It was crazy, all the pieces you put together. And
it was a real nail biter, because the funny thing is, I actually, and actually this is the first time I'm telling anyone this. So when I actually what I did was I said, okay, I told the Ben Kinney's group, let's do June 8th, 2016. And it was like a week before, and it was like in April, and I didn't even launch it. But I just put the event right up, and I said, that's the date. And so it wasn't even confirmed on their end. So they could have had another event that day. Because the way they do it is that if you don't pay them up front, you have to pay them up front for them to secure a date. So, and it's not a 50% deposit. It was 100%.
I hear risk taker.
So there was, which I didn't have the money at the time, right away. So I had to pull money from different sources, and it took me about a week to do it. But I already told everyone, hey, we're doing June 8th. So by Friday, so we did on a Thursday. It was a Thursday when I launched it. By Friday, by that Monday, I got the money. And luckily, their group had a Chase account, which I had a Chase account, so I was able to transfer the money right away.
Perfect.
And then finally, we secured the date. We didn't secure the venue either. I put, because I was looking at Fair SDU in Teaneck, New Jersey, and so we're looking at that venue was actually perfect in terms of location, in terms of size, but they just wouldn't accept us for some reason. Whether it was insurance reasons or whether crazy. So, but everyone thought it was FDU. So I act as if. So basically, I fake it till you make it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
what good messages are coming through here? That's so good.
So, but finally, I found a venue in Jersey City like a month later, but it still wasn't solidified because they said they had another event. But so we didn't even actually solidify the actual venue until a week before the event happened.
That's crazy, and it was a huge, successful, monumental event. Thank you, Ben, for coming over. But people raved about it afterwards. What about Hal Elrod? Was that an easier event?
So
Hal Elrod is a very well-known author. You should check out his book, The Miracle Morning.
And his new book, The Miracle Equation.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So he's luckily, Hal Elrod and I actually go way back. He was someone that I actually mentored me. I first met him about 20 years ago. And of course he left the Cutco business in about 2006, but then he later on became a great motivational speaker, writer, and he wrote a great book called The Miracle Morning, and that was back in 2012, but it became a hit in the realtor community about 2014, 15-ish, and so I would go to offices, random office, and I would see a copy of his book lying down there, or just lying around, and so I knew that it was something that the agents wanted to see. So that event was also very challenging. I think all events are challenging.
They are. I think I would agree with you.
Actually, it was very challenging because, again, the same question was, how can I add massive value to the people that already use me or who I already have relations with? And again, it wasn't something that was going to happen. No one was going to bring them. Whether it was a title or a mortgage company, no one's doing it. So I was like, I have to do it.
That's why the Master Networker introduction
And so, which is very challenging because for those of you, most people who do follow him knew that he had cancer the year before.
Right.
And so and by the way, his chemo regimen was actually very rigorous. So to kind of give you an example, when most people do chemo, they do chemo once a week for 1 hour with one chemical, right? He did his chemo routine regimen was 5 days a week,
wow.
12 hours a day,
wow.
with 5 different chemicals for 3 weeks of the month, and I think for most of the year. So, so when he was finally done with that, he agreed to actually do the event. But then he was sick for 5 weeks before the event even started. So I think he was fighting some infection, fighting pneumonia, whatever the case may be, and he wasn't getting better because, as you know, with chemo, it kills your immune system. So he wasn't actually going to be able to make it. There was like 50% chance. So the Monday before the event happened, which was only 3 days before, he didn't. It was going to happen, but then he felt a little bit better the next day. And I was kind of surprised he actually did come because, as you know, getting on an airplane, there's 1,000 germs.
Totally.
And so, but he did, and he did it for me, so which I was very grateful for.
That's so nice.
It was very nice.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to Orly Steinberg, who is a local realtor, and she said that, you know, there's no way in hell I would have let my husband get on the plane. And so I didn't even think about that until afterwards.
Okay, I have to cut you off. I'm so sorry.
No, that's it.
Okay. How do your values show up in your work?
So one thing I've learned over the past couple of years is that nothing is worth sacrificing your integrity or your values. And we see this in sales a lot, where people will do that to make the sale or to make the connection or whatever the case may be. So there were a couple, I mean, obviously I'm not getting into specifics, we can all try. There were times where I was asked to do something, or where I was, where it was just went against what I believed in, and so, you know, and it actually bothered me because it was like, people would say, well, if you don't do it, then I'll go to that person and he'll do it.
They're just not the right people.
And exactly, so I said, you know what, go to that person. And that took me about a couple years to actually be good with that.
Yeah, I understand. In sales, we hear no more times than we would like to admit. What keeps you persevering in an industry that so many throw in the towel right before success appears?
You know, I think for me, because I come from a sales background, I'm just used to it. I mean, I've been selling Cutco. This is my 22nd year selling Cutco. So I was always told that, you know, the more no's you hear, the more yeses you'll hear.
Exactly. That's such a good one. It's so true.
I mean, it is disheartening, you know, because, you know, you can't take things personally.
Right.
You know, Zig Ziglar used to always say that it's not a personal rejection, it's a business refusal.
But so many of us take it personally.
Obviously, because you got to take the emotion out of it, and just focus on the numbers. But again, once in a while, even today, even to this day, it still happens. It still gets to you.
Of course, I can't not. Okay, so we're getting close to the end. Just a few more questions. What are some or one of your favorite books, podcasts, and people that have inspired your journey to success?
So Hal Elrod actually has a great podcast. And great books, of course, I just finished his new book, Miracle Questions. I'll give him a little plug here. The Miracle Morning is obviously an awesome book, which, you know, I've been following the Sabres. The only thing I haven't been doing as well is the scribing part, unfortunately, but I'll get there.
That's all right.
I read 2 books recently that were just amazing. The first one is called Fanatical Prospecting by Jeb Blount.
Yep.
And that book is just really amazing because it just cuts through all the BS that we tell ourselves. We tell ourselves that we don't really need to prospect because, you know, we want to take a more holistic approach, but the old basics and fundamentals still work. And a new book I just finished the other day, it's by James Clear, it's called Atomic Habits, and that book is phenomenal. It talks about how to build habits that will lead you to a successful life, and those are 2 best books I've read so far this year.
I'm going to check them out. We'll put the titles up so you guys can go and get them. Also, what's the best way to contact you?
Best way to contact me? Actually, you can either email, phone. I mean,
email address is?
Well, I'll just give you my phone number. You can text me, make it easier, because my email is it's 914-396-3007.
And we'll post the Instagram, Facebook, email, and everything else so they can get in contact with you. Is there anything that I should have asked that I didn't?
I think you've asked everything that you could have asked.
All right, then the last question is, these videos are all about sharing. What is your #1 tip for the viewers to live their best life?
Find out what your purpose is. Find out what makes your heart sing. and whatever activities that you do, whether it's your business or whatever the case may be, make sure it aligns. And if it doesn't align, then find something else.
That does.
But once it's you, then just keep on going.
Awesome. You want to have a sip of your juice? Cheers.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
We'll chug it too.
Oh, you will. Go, 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 go. Go, go, go. Wow. That's so great. that just made that was awesome.
I was actually a chugging champion my
Yeah, a little green mustache. I love
there we
it. Give me a hug. Thank you so much for being here.